So we're in a training session tonight, guys, because, I'm in Horsham on my iPad and Tim is in Adelaide on his computer. And obviously we've got all of you guys beaming in from all over the place on mobile phones, iPads, computers, probably from just about every state in Australia. So how awesome is that? So welcome tonight. I was wondering how we were going to be able to manage this tonight because Trev and I have been in Adelaide. We went over to Adelaide for the Super Saturday on Saturday and spoke at that event, and also did some training for our team in the afternoon. And I have to tell you guys, Adelaide is on fire. It was just a fantastic day. A fantastic team of people coming together. It really was, all ages. It was just, it was just really exciting for us to be there as well. So tonight we knew we were doing an in-home presentation in Horsham for our friends Leith and Angie. And, that's the flexibility of this business. Isn't it incredible? But not only the business, the flexibility of having a team that steps up and, just links arms and just, says, what can I do to help? So, we've just got the absolute privilege of Tim. Tim didn't hesitate when I said, Tim, do you think you could do the Zoom for us on Monday night? Tim is, Tim's like Trev. He's an experienced networker. He loves network marketing. And Tim and Corinne, their team is on fire. They really are. Their belief has gone through the roof. They've just been persistent, and sometimes, some of you find it doesn't always come together when you want. But then all of a sudden you just keep going, and this is what we've found now with Tim and his team. And so I just really want to introduce Tim and Corinne. They're apprentice millionaires. But, more than apprentice millionaires, they're just Trev's best buddy. Like, I don't think a day goes by where these two are not talking to each other. Does it, Tim? I mean, I think most days they're on the phone. I usually know when he's on the phone to Tim. You can just tell they're best buddies. And Tim also has been one of the most, and Corinne have been the most loyal friends to us, over the years. Absolutely. Times where, we've had our ups and downs as well. But I tell you what, when you've got good friends like Tim and Corinne always standing beside you and believing in you, I'm excited about the fun times ahead. I'm excited about the breakthroughs. I'm excited about seeing them, max out their business center and just bring some serious changes. But I know the only way we're going to do that is to help a ton of people. So, thank you so much, Tim, for just stepping up, not hesitating. Tim and I were working out this morning how he could use my account, but we nutted it through, didn't we, Tim, without Trev?
Yeah,
and So, guys, this is Tim. I'll let him take over and I will hang in as long as I can, because I've got to go back into the other room to finish off the home meeting that we're doing. So if it's finished before you're off, Tim, I'll come in and tell you what the result is. Okay?
Great.
So I'll just mute myself. So guys, just, give Tim a really big welcome and just send in some love, because I really appreciate you doing this for us.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Linda. And yes, Trevor and I and Linda and we've been friends for almost seems like forever. And, I look around, I see quite a few familiar faces from days gone by. And, one of the things, when Trevor and Linda told us a while back that they were coming over to do the Adelaide Super Saturday, we were pretty excited. Like, this was going to be fantastic. And normally the Super Saturdays go from, 9:30 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a big day. And we thought, man, this is going to be so fantastic. And then we found out that the Super Saturday this month was going to be cut in half because they couldn't get the room hire for the whole day. So it only went from 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock. And in the beginning, man, we were just so devastated. We thought, we're going to hear 3 minutes, sort of thing. Their time was going to be cut short. And so we were a bit devastated. And then we got to thinking, well, hang on, this is good. We'll hire another room in that same complex, a smaller room, just for Trev's and Linda's guys, our guys, and we'll have them all to ourselves for the whole afternoon. Like, how good's that, So we were pretty excited by that, and we got all that sorted out, and it just worked out absolutely brilliant. It was the best afternoon, literally the best afternoon. And it was interesting because in that room, we only had, I think, 32 or 3 people. And, Trevor pointed out that a long time ago, there was a room in Melbourne where 34 people got together. And they had somebody come in and speak to them. And they went from a room of 34 people to filling up entertainment centres and so forth and putting 30,000 people in functions on a weekend. So from small things, big things come, right? Now, Linda's right. We've been out there banging away at this for a long time. And initially, like a lot of you good folk, we got in for product B. That's all we wanted was product B. Well, no, that's all we knew about. We didn't know there was anything else, right? Bottle of product B each, beauty, build an empire on that. Well, that didn't quite run that way. But we did introduce quite a few people. And like some of you guys, we were busy doing other things. We fitted this in wherever the heck we could. And it wasn't always convenient, and we didn't always keep the wheel turning as fast as we probably should have or definitely could have. But anyway, we did keep the wheel going, and we pushed and we pushed and we pushed. And, there's thin threads that come into our businesses, into your businesses. There's thin threads, and those thin threads are those opportune meetings and those serendipitous moments that you think, when you look back, you go, wow, I never thought, I couldn't see that happening when it happened. It's only when I look back and see the result coming forward. And we've all seen that that sign that says, I think it was Jobs that said, you can't join the dots looking forward. You can only join the dots by looking back at where it came from. Right? Now, is anybody here, if you could just give me a wave, and I can't see everybody, but if you could give me a wave, has anybody here ever heard of a thing called the butterfly effect? Give me a wave if you've heard of the butterfly effect. Yeah, okay, quite a few hands waving there. Very good. All right, now the butterfly effect is absolutely an amazing concept. And what I want to point out is, what you and I do is the butterfly effect. The actions we take, the words we speak, it's the butterfly effect. I'm going to show you a video in a minute. It's going to run for about 9 minutes. And it's all on the butterfly effect. And it is absolutely incredible when you think of the things that we do, the people that we approach, the list we write down, the dreams we dare to dream that we write down or put on our vision boards. All this is a part of the butterfly effect. We can't see it looking forward. We'll only ever see the effects of it when we look back over time, right? And when those 34 people were in that room in Melbourne, they couldn't see the 30,000. They hoped, they wished, but they couldn't see the 30,000 that were going to turn up. They didn't know their names. They didn't know their addresses. They didn't have their phone numbers, but they were out there. somewhere, waiting for someone to make the phone call, waiting for someone to answer a prayer that, oh my God, there's got to be a way. Waiting. And today I'll tell you that I honestly believe that looking at all you people on here, you've all got your dreams. You've all got your own particular reasons why. What you're not understanding enough, I don't think, is that there's people out there waiting for you. They're waiting for you, not somebody else. They'll only ever get into this business with you. And if you don't ask them, they'll miss out. They'll miss out on the health. They'll miss out on the wealth. They'll miss out on the dreams. They'll miss out on the legacy. Right? And everything we do is flapping our little butterfly wings. We flap our little butterfly wings. Right? Now, I'm going to share the screen and bring up a video in a second. And I'm going to get, there's a guy called, sorry guys, there's a guy called Andy Andrews. And bear with me while I fly this at the moment. It's all just a bit difficult. And I'll get it sorted. Sorry, Linda, but we'll get this sorted real quick. And we'll go into here. Where am I? Go there. And we'll go there. Resume share screen, get out of there. Sorry, guys. Why is this doing this to me, Linda? That's better. That's okay. Small glitches, only a small glitch, guys, only a small glitch. Now, here we go. This will be better. Can we all see that? Yes? Good.
You heard of the butterfly effect? The butterfly effect was a doctoral thesis written in 1963 by Edward Lorenz, and it was presented to the New York Academy of Sciences and laughed out of the place. It's crazy. The butterfly effect stated that a butterfly could flap its wings on one side of the world and set molecules of air in motion that moved other molecules of air that would eventually move other molecules of air that could eventually create a hurricane on the other side of the planet. The butterfly effect. It was nuts, but it was interesting. And because it was so interesting, it hung around forever in urban legend and movies and books until finally, physics professors in the mid-90s proved the butterfly effect was accurate and viable, and it worked every time. And not just with butterflies either. It worked with any form of moving matter, including people. They gave it the status of a law. Just like the law of gravity, the butterfly effect is now known as the law of sensitive dependence upon initial conditions. And it works every time. See, Chamberlain is a human example of the butterfly effect. One guy who made one move 140 years ago whose effect still ripples through our lives today. And you are no less an example of the butterfly effect than Chamberlain was. Everything you do matters. Every move you make, every action you take matters not just for you or your family or your hometown. Everything you do matters to all of us and forever. I was in a hotel room a couple of years ago. This was before Peter Jennings died, and I was ironing the left sleeve of a white shirt and about to go down and talk to a group of people, and the TV was kind of halfway, to me, halfway on, and Peter Jennings was doing that person of the week thing that ABC News, they still do it, but But he was doing the Person of the Week where they highlight somebody and tell about what they... And while I'm kind of halfway paying attention, I hear him say, and so the Person of the Week for, and he gives the date, he said, is Norman Borlaug. I mean, when he said Norman Borlaug, I put the iron down. I ran in front of the TV set. My jaw was around my knees. Norman Borlaug. I didn't know the dude was still alive. I knew who he was. I had written a book called The Lost Choice that tells the proof about how much a life matters. And I'd wrapped a story around it. And I'd done some research and I found out about Norman. I had like 2 paragraphs in the book about Norman Borlaug. I knew who he was. They had calculated that his work, hybridizing corn and wheat for arid climates, his work through the years, the plains of Siberia, the Dust Bowl of Western Africa, our own desert Southwest, South and Central America, that his work, hybridizing corn and wheat for arid climates, had saved from famine the lives of over 2 billion people. The guy saved 2 billion lives. And for that, he was Person of the Week. It kind of aggravated me because I remember thinking, it's not Norman Borlaug. I was talking to the TV. It's not Norman Borlaug that did it. It's a guy named Henry Wallace. Henry Wallace was Vice President of the United States under Roosevelt. And a lot of people think, wait a minute, I thought Truman was Vice President under Roosevelt. Well, that's true. But remember, Roosevelt served 4 terms. He had 3 different vice presidents, and the middle one was the former Secretary of Agriculture, a man named Henry Wallace, who, while he was Vice President of the United States, used the power of that office to create a station in Mexico whose sole purpose was to hybridize corn and wheat for arid climates. And he hired a young man named Norman Borlaug to run it. And it was Norman Borlaug who won the Nobel Prize, and it was Norman Borlaug who got Person of the Week. But when you think about it, it was Henry Wallace who saved the 2 billion people, wasn't it? Really? Unless maybe it was George Washington Carver. You remember Carver, don't you? The peanut stuff? Here's one thing people don't know about Carver, is when he was 19 years old and a student at Iowa State University, he had a dairy sciences professor who on Saturday and Sunday afternoons would allow his 6-year-old little boy to go on botanical expeditions with this brilliant student. And it was George Washington Carver that took this little 6-year-old boy and pointed his life in a direction. It was George Washington Carver that took this 6-year-old Henry Wallace and put a vision in his life about plants and what they could do for humanity. It's amazing to think about it. Isn't it? George Washington Carver flapping those butterfly wings with the peanut stuff. 266 things he developed from the peanut that we still use today. He flapped his butterfly wings with the sweet potato. 88 things he developed from the sweet potato that we still use today. And while nobody was even looking, he just flapped his butterfly wings a couple of times with a little 6-year-old boy and just happened to save the lives of 2 billion people and counting. So when you think about it, maybe it was Carver that should have been Person of the Week. Unless it would have been the farmer from Diamond, Missouri. A man named Moses had a wife named Susan. They lived in a slave state, but they didn't believe in slavery. Well, this was a problem for these psychopaths like Quantrill's raiders who came through farms and villages at night, destroying and killing. And one January night, Quantrill's raiders came through Moses and Susan's farm, and they burned the barn, and they shot several people, and they drug off a lady named Mary Washington, who refused to let go of her infant baby, George. Now, Mary Washington was Susan's best friend. And because of that relationship, Moses sent word out immediately, and a messenger here and a message here, trying to create a meeting with Quantrill's raiders, and 2 days later he had it. And he took a black horse in the evening time, and then went several hours north to a crossroads in Kansas to be there at the appointed time, meeting 4 of Quantrill's raiders who showed up on horseback, carrying torches, with the flour sacks over their heads with the eye holes cut out. And there Moses traded the last horse he had left on his farm for what they threw him in a burlap bag. And as he caught it and they thundered off, he went to the ground, and there in that cold darkness with that white breath billowing out, he pulled out of that burlap sack a cold, naked, almost dead infant baby boy. And he jerked open his jacket and his shirts, and he put that baby in next to his skin and covered the child up, and he walked that baby out, talking to him, promising him that he would raise him as his own, telling him he would educate him to honor his mother, who they knew was already dead. And that was the night he told that baby he would give him his name. And that is how Moses and Susan Carver came to raise that little baby George Washington. So when you think about it, maybe it was the farmer from Diamond, Missouri that saved the 2 billion people. Unless. And hey, you guys know we could do this all night. How far back could we go? I mean, really, how far back could we go to show who's moved at what time, at what point in history? How far back could we go to show who it really was who saved the 2 billion people, a number that continues to increase while we sit here? How far back could we go? And how far forward could we go in your life? How far forward could we go to show the lives that you'll touch? I mean, there are generations yet unborn whose very lives will be shaped and shifted by what you do tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, and the next, and the next. Because everything you do matters. Every move you make, every action you take, not just for you, not just for your family, not just for your hometown. Everything you do matters to all of us and forever.
It's pretty powerful stuff, isn't it, really? Everything we do, everything we say matters, not just for now, but forever. Flapping our butterfly wings. Flapping our butterfly wings. And how do we flap our butterfly wings? Well, Trevor and Linda came over to Adelaide and flapped their butterfly wings. Right? Trevor and Linda came over and sat down in the lounge rooms, as they probably sat in your lounge room, and spread their love, their knowledge, their wisdom, and they flapped their butterfly wings. And people started to open up and get a bigger vision of what's real, what's possible, right? And then they spoke at the function, and fair dinkum. It was brilliant. You know, both Trevor and Linda, as different as they are, put them together. It's not 1 + 1. It's the multiplier effect. It's the synergistic effect. And put them together and flapping those butterfly wings. And what they're trying to do by flapping their butterfly wings is encourage you and I to go and flap our butterfly wings by contacting more people, showing more plans, building stronger structures, right? And I got to tell you, there was 3 speakers at that function on Saturday morning in Adelaide. And from a purely business perspective, nothing personal against the other speakers or anything else, I got to tell you, most of you already know this, but I just want to reinforce it, that we are so fortunate to have Trevor and Linda setting up the pattern and the system that they've put together with Team FSI. And Linda did a great session on how to use the Team FSI website. We don't have to be product whiz-bangs. We don't have to know all about the products. People want to know, I'll go to teamfsi.net, go to the cleanse and nutrition page. You want to know how the money works? I'll go to teamfsi.net and look on the compensation page, right? We don't have to be brilliant at any aspect of Isagenix. However, we do need to get a few skills on how to approach people, how to talk to them about the business, how to set up the structure, how to promote, how to get things moving again. Because, you know, what we've seen is when Trevor and Linda, or Linda said, you know, that South Australia is moving, it is. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not because of what I'm doing. You know, it's not because of me and the practice we've had in other networks. It's happening through people that have had a little bit of practice sometimes, and others that have never been in a network, nor did they want to be in a network. But all of a sudden it's gone boom, right? Why? Well, I think it's that time in history. I think it's that time, not just in Adelaide, but it's that time everywhere, right? It's that time for you. It's that time for the people that you've got sponsored that aren't on the call tonight. It's that time for all of us. Why? Because I think for the great majority of us, we're just plain sick and tired of being sick and tired. And if we're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then the only way out of that is through action. Right? Now, you know, somebody asked me, I think, let me have a look here. Just looking for somebody on the call. Maybe he's disappeared on me. Darren Hutchins. I don't know whether you're there, Darren. But Darren's been sponsoring quite a few people, and he's got a lot of volume going through his business. And a couple of the guys said to me, well, you know, what's Darren doing? How's he doing that? Well, it's simple. He's talking to more people, you know. And this is so beautiful, the way this is, right? And look, a lot of you people I've met, and I thank Linda for entrusting this call to me, because, you know, for all you know, I could blow a few of you out, and I hope I don't. If, you know, if I say something that's not right, for goodness sake, tell Linda, tell Trevor, let them beat me up. Don't do something silly and bail on us, okay? So, but, you know, you don't understand, because you look at you in the mirror and you only see, looking back through your eyes, you don't see what other people see in you. You don't see the greatness. You don't see the joy. You don't see all of that that's inside of you. Every one of you. I don't care what you have or haven't achieved in the past. It's irrelevant, because we were born even the day before we were born, we had the seed of greatness planted in us. Now, life does its best to knock that seed around and spray it with a bit of pesticide and everything else, and herbicide, and wipe us out, flatten us down, right? And Cookie, my God, there's an example of how greatness will not die. Right? Cookie's story the other week. Cookie, you are absolutely staggering, right? The seeds of greatness within you is massive to have overcome what you've overcome. You've all overcome your own situations. The biggest overcome that you've got to overcome is up in here. And the other side of it is, you wouldn't be on this call, you wouldn't have signed up, you wouldn't have bought any product, that if somewhere deep inside in what I call your knower, you know, deep down in your knower, you just know. Your knower says, I can do this. Your knower says that you are the one. You know, Jimmy Smith's video on how to build the business is brilliant. He said, you know, when you find the one that's going to fly, there's those people out there that they're the one, and they're going to make such a difference to your business. Well, what you got to understand is you're the one making such a difference to someone else's business. You don't see yourself as the one, because we've all been told not to blow our own trumpet. Who's ever been told not to blow your own trumpet? Yep. Well, I tell you what, if you don't start blowing it, I guarantee you nobody else will, right? You should sound like a brass band. That trumpet of yours should be blasting out loud and clear, right? And look, our butterfly wings, if we do not go out and make a difference, what do we got on here? 31 people tonight. Here we are in another room of another 30-odd people. Just like that room in Melbourne 36 years ago or whatever it was, where there was 30-odd people. And out of that 30-odd people came 30+ thousand that would turn up to a major function. That wasn't the whole lot of them. That was just who turned up at the functions. There was probably 3 times that amount in the whole thing. So you're talking 90 to 100,000 people. Think about this, guys. In your collective businesses, could you imagine the impact that you will have, the FSI team can have, if we put 100,000 people together over the next 5 or 6, 7 years? Think about that. Flap our butterfly wings. Just flap our butterfly wings, and Trev's got it sorted. We've got our little shake going on, right? You find a handful, right? You got 5. Those 5, go and find 5 more. We got 25, right? We got our $1 million hand going here. Well, we can convert this just into a butterfly wing. That's the same thing. It's just a matter of what if. What if you were destined to build a massive Isagenix business? What if it was your destiny to set other people free? What if it was right to have such a huge dream? What if it was right that you would be the one in the whole Chatham organisation, in the whole of FSI, to just cut loose and just do it anyway? Burn the boats, as they say. Get to the shores of the enemy, burn the boats. The only way home is in their boat. Right? We can do this. You got to understand, every one of you, right? There's Barry, there's Dean and Kay, there's Heather, everybody's there, there's Eileen. Look, every one of us, it's up to us to do this, right? It's up to everyone on this call. You're on this call not because there's nothing on TV. You're on this call because you want to move forward. You're here participating, you're wanting almost like, please tell me I can do it. Please give me permission to be great. You don't need permission. You are already great. You don't realise it perhaps, but you are. Blow your own trumpet. Flap your butterfly wings. And in doing this, what we've got to understand is Trevor and Linda, they are the pinnacle of what's actually going to happen. Isagenix has not seen anything. They haven't seen anything. They do not know what massive growth looks like. They don't know because they haven't seen what you're going to do. They haven't seen what Donna's going to do. They haven't seen what Mary's going to do. They haven't seen what Ray and Jenny and Coral, they haven't seen what Barry's going to do. They haven't seen what Darwin basketball's going to do. They haven't seen what Lee's going to do. Steve, they haven't seen what you're going to do, mate. Isagenix has not seen what we're capable of. All because we haven't flapped our butterfly wings properly yet. Think about this. You go ahead and build this. You build a huge group. You break a business centre. You might break 2. Don't be frightened to dream that big. It's possible. Why? It's been done. Then what's that going to do for your family? What's that going to do for the families within that organisation? What's that going to do for their kids, for their grandkids, for their great-grandkids in decades to come? Can't see the dots looking forward. You can only see the dots looking back. Just like Andy Andrews said, we can go back and back and back and back and back. And we can go forward and forward and forward. And we can flap our wings. And we can see the result of that. But guess what? We can also see the result of not flapping our wings. We can also see the result of putting a little dampener down over our greatness. We can also see the result of letting the dream die. I love what Les Brown said. Has anybody here listened or watched Les Brown on YouTube or listened to his CDs or anything? Les Brown? Yep. Got a couple. Les Brown, he's absolutely brilliant. You look him up on YouTube and he said, you know, there's a, when it comes our time to pass over to the other life, he said the best way for that to happen is to be surrounded by your family and your loved ones and be passing peacefully. He said, but imagine this. There you are in that situation, about to pass over, and you look down to the foot of your bed, and there, staring back at you with angry, angry eyes, are your dreams and your goals and your visions that were never accomplished. And they say to you on your dying bed, they say to you, we were given to you. Only you could have given us life. Only you could have fulfilled our purpose. And through fear, you chose not to. So now we, the dreams, the goals and the visions, we must die with you. We can't do that. You know, we can't do that. You're here because you've got a dream. You're here because, you know, it's not just the money. Money's important. Look, don't get me wrong. Somebody who said money can't buy happiness, well, maybe, I don't know, but you sure can be comfortable within your misery, right? Now, the thing is, with money, the more of it you got, the better off you are. Why? You can help more people with more money. I'm yet to see a beggar help another beggar. It's your right and your responsibility to make as much as you possibly can to build your dream. I don't know whether it's your house, whether it's your car, whether it's holidays, whether it's one of Trevor's lunatic ideas about sailing in a kayak up the coast. You know, like, that is just crazy. He took me out on Port Phillip Bay. Nearly got me killed. The Coast Guard came out to see if we were okay. And he wonders why I don't want to go on his kayak. I did that once. Well, I'm happy to be land crew. Right? I'm happy to be land crew. I'll drive up and down the coast all day looking for him. I don't care. Right? But I got a deal. I got to deal with the sharks. I don't go in their backyard. They don't come in my car. It's real simple. I'm not going out there, right? That's his dream. That's a nightmare to me. You've got your dreams. Don't sit there and think, oh, well, they might not be interested. Well, if I go out there and ask them, what do they think of me? You want to know something? They're not thinking of you at all. Don't wait. What are you going to win by waiting? You know, I remember years ago listening to an old cassette tape, and this guy got sick of trying to book meetings and nobody would come. Nobody would turn up. So he figured it out. He'd ring them up about midnight. And he'd say to them, "Are you guys going to be home tomorrow night about 7? Yeah, good. I've got something important I want to talk to you about. I'll be over then." Clunk. He figured that because no one was going to sit up and argue with him at midnight. Right? Don't wait. Find a way. Find a way that works for you. Don't prejudge. Please, 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 please don't prejudge. Some of you know that there used to be a tape called Make Your List. It was horrendous. Right? It was absolutely horrendous. I'll give you an example. Think about this. You might know a professional person, could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, could be a vet, could be an anything. And you're not going to dare ask them because why would they be looking? You might have just missed out on a Trevor Chatham. You want to take that chance? You want to roll that dice? Not me. Hell no. Right? You want to go out and you don't want to approach the local tradie because he looks a bit rough, the builder. He's got a few tattoos up his arms and all that sort of stuff, and he's just looking a bit rough. You don't want to talk to him? That's too bad. You might have just missed out on a Jackson Parr. Oops. Big mistake. Big, huge. Right? Flap our butterfly wings in every direction we know how. Now, I've got to tell you this. I'm not sure how much time we've got left here. Let me just have a little bit of a look. Yeah, we're doing okay. There is going to be an FSI announcement that I'm not going to tell you about. But I can tell you this, it's going to affect every single one of you big time. And I can tell you this also, that the more people that you have got in your organisation when that announcement comes out, the happier you are going to be. Now, if you've got 2 people, you need to double your group, make it 4. If you've got 100 people in your group, double your group, make it 200. Because I can tell you when Trevor and Linda release this FSI announcement, it is going to blow your mind. It is absolutely going to blow your mind. And, you know, it's going to happen all over Australia. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect your people in the most positive, growth-producing manner you could ever imagine. I don't know how many's in your group. When will this happen, Tim? Is the message? Look, I don't know when it'll be announced. We've worked it out. I can tell you it'll start somewhere. It's going to be rolled out progressively. It's not all going to happen in one hit around Australia. It will be rolled out progressively, and it is going to start in June. So not far away, guys. Not far away. And look, all I want to do is I want to encourage you all to flap those butterfly wings. Flap them and flap them hard. Create a storm, not on the other side of the world, but create a storm on your side of the world, in your world. Because we are in the most exciting time in Isagenix history, in probably networking history. Because we've all heard Trevor and Linda talk about how this is the best compensation plan. It is the best program on the planet. We know we got the best product. The product's the product. Don't worry about the product. People put the product in their body, they get a result. We've got the best business structure in the world because it just pays and pays and pays and pays and pays. And when you get your head around what's coming, you will kick yourself senseless for not contacting 20 more people last week and 30 more people next week. And if you've already got your 5 runners, You're going to kick yourself silly for not booking meetings down in depth, working your depth, building your depth, strengthening your foundations, because we're building a big house. We're building a massive big house. And if you're going to build a massive big house, you need very deep foundations to hold it up. Right? You need deep foundations. And deep foundations come from making sure the people down in depth are making an income they don't want to ever give up. Right? And, you know, I'm just so thankful that 30 odd years ago, and I'll tell you the story just quickly. Our sponsor in that other old game, and we won't talk about what that was, but you couldn't mention it when you approach people because they would never turn up for the meeting. Our sponsor told me, now I live north of Adelaide, up near the Barossa Valley, and our sponsor said, look, his sponsor is coming over to Victor Harbour to do a meeting, and I want you to go down there and go to that meeting. I said, mate, you know, like that's 2 hours drive. And he said, if I wanted a geography lesson, I'd have bought a book. I don't care. Just go there. I had to give up a night's work, drive 2 hours. I got down to this house where this bloke was doing a meeting. And I'm a car guy, right? I'm right into cars. I pull up in the driveway and here's a damn Subaru little wagony thing there. And this is God's gospel truth. I said to Corinne, I said, anybody driving one of those crappy little things couldn't teach me much. I said, let's go home. I wasn't even going to go in. And Corinne, thank God for Corinne, she said, I haven't travelled all this way not to get a cup of coffee, and got out of the car and started walking in. Well, I had to follow. I couldn't leave her there. That'd be a divorce. But anyway, so we went in. And that's when I met Trevor. I sat there, took notes, drove home, went back a fortnight later, went back a fortnight later again, 2 hours, gave up a night's work, 2 hours home again. If my wife had not have got out of the car that night and gone for a coffee in that house, I wouldn't be here tonight. She flapped her butterfly wings. She flapped her butterfly wings. I could not see that at that time. Only now, looking back over that 30 plus years, can I see the effect of her flapping her butterfly wings. What are you going to do? You're going to flap your butterfly wings? You're going to contact somebody you don't know. Look, they're sitting at home tonight going, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how we're going to survive. I don't know how we're going to educate our kids. I don't know how we're going to clothe our kids. I don't know how we're going to pay the bills. I don't know how I'm ever going to feel well again. I don't know how I'm ever going to get rid of this stress. And you're sitting there not flapping your wings in their direction. Please, back yourself. Back yourself to the absolute hilt. There is so much coming forward in your direction, and you just don't realise how powerful you are. You don't realise the impact that you're going to have on the people around you. You just don't know. You'll only be able to tell that looking backwards. The impact that Trevor Chatham has had on my life, as he's had on so many of yours, is profound. Profound. You know, it's because of the influence of Trevor Chatham that got me into reading positive mental attitude books. It is the influence of Trevor's friendship that kept me out of the bottle. It is the influence of the people in this whole organisation that sometimes holds us up when we feel like falling down. We are a family. We are a team. We are Team FSI. And Team FSI is not Trevor and Linda Chatham. Team FSI is you. Team FSI is me. Team FSI is the people that you're going to introduce to this business tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month. The more people you've got, when that announcement comes, you're going to be so pleased that you flapped your butterfly wings. The butterfly effect is about to hit this whole organisation. And it's going to be through you, or it's going to be through people you bring into this organisation. You don't know who knows who knows. You don't know the next person you sponsor in your 5. You don't know who they know. Right? Now, Darren Hutchie, he's on here tonight. Darren, he was in Trevor's group years ago, cross-line to me. And he came in, approached me about a different business. Ended up, he got into business with me. Now, Darren introduced some friends of his who were into horses. He did not know that these friends knew some people in the UK. These people in the UK, right? I don't know them. Darren doesn't know them. We've never met them. But they're the major shareholders in Cathay Pacific Airlines. They got 20 hotels through Asia, resorts. I don't know. But do you reckon they might know some people that you and I don't? Absolutely. The influence that can come through those people, through Darren Hutchins. Now, Darren lives in a little town in the Riverland, right? And when I say a little town, I mean a little town, right? It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there, right? And from there will come an empire. You just don't know, and I'll guarantee you, you will never, ever find out if you don't flap your butterfly wings. The seeds of greatness are right there. They're right sitting in your chair. The seeds of empire building, the seeds of legends that will be talked about for generations to come are sitting right here on this computer. The 30-odd people that are sitting right here in this meeting, these are the seed sowers of empires that will be talked about for generations. Is it you? Do you want it to be you? If you want it to be you, there's only one thing you've got to do. Learn the skills of building a business structure. Don't worry too much about the product. Isagenix is good at that. We just got to build the business structure. Lead with the business, build the business, learn the business, communicate it to your people, and trust. Trust that what Trevor and Linda are about to do is correct. Because I can tell you, after 30-odd years and being up and down a dry gully or two, and I've been in conventional business, we've put millions of dollars into a conventional business and still waiting for it to come out the other end. Conventional business, to be honest, sucks. It really does. Too many things out of your control. I've had pubs, restaurants, all sorts of stuff. This is cake. This is where dreams come true. This is the dream factory. Team FSI is the new dream factory. It's there for you to build your dream with your team. Jimmy Smith, get a dream, build a team of 4, 5 or 6, and help them build their teams. You guys are it. This is how it's going to be. We got 30 odd people here. We're going to turn this into 100,000 people, 30,000 turning up at functions, major functions. Wouldn't it be good if it was 30,000 turning up to FSI functions, right? Not just Isagenix functions. What an amazing concept that'd be, right? We've seen this before, guys. We've done it before, right? We've done it before. We can do it again. We can do it all again. And for you guys who haven't done this yet, who've never been involved in a network before, please just trust that what Trevor and Linda are teaching you is absolutely spot on. Because it is. Because you see, fundamentally, building these networks never changes. The fundamentals don't change. The technology changes. I can remember years ago standing up in front of everybody. There might be 70 or 80 people in the room, and I'd be talking about, look, what I know about computers could be inscribed on the head of a pin with a crowbar. And so the technology changes. The way we present things might change, but fundamentally, the principles remain the same. And I tell people, you've got to understand there's no such thing as a new antique. The fundamentals and the principles must remain the same. Why? We're dealing with people. We're dealing with emotions. We're dealing with all sorts of frailties and idiosyncrasies. Our fundamentals remain the same. The methodology of transference of that dream can change. But the dream's the dream. And do you dare to dream? One of the things that I want everybody to have a crack at doing is when we're finished here tonight, I don't care how ridiculous you think your dream might be and how far away it might seem. Could you please just dream whatever that dream is, just for a few minutes. Just get a picture of it in your mind. Just think about it. Just let it get into you a little bit. Let that dream come alive inside you just for a minute, just for a second. Just, wow, felt that. Feel the dream, because it is going to be the dream that fuels this whole thing. You've got to have the dream fueling it, because quite frankly, without the dream, if you're just doing it on sheer drive, it's going to be hard. You can get there, but it will be harder. If you're chasing a dream, it's a lot easier. And the dream might not be running to something. The dream could just be as good as running away from something, getting away from, right? Just whatever it is. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to take Linda's place tonight, and I thank Linda for entrusting this platform to me. And so what I want to do now is we'll unmute everybody, and I'll say thank you, and please take care and flap those butterfly wings. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
All righty.
Very
Thanks, guys.
motivational. Thank you,
Bye,
Tim.
Ray.
Bye.
Bye, Tim.
Hey.
Bye.
Yep. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Billy Hoy.
Bye, Tim.
Bye.
Yeah, champion.
Thank you.
Tim. Well done.
Thanks, guys.